Now, back in rental.js, it is likely that we're going to use this method in other places in our application, like in the movie module or the customer module. We don't want to redefine this object ID method in every module. So on top of the file, this is where we defined this object ID method in the Joy object. I'm going to move this from here to index.js. So we load it once and we can reuse it everywhere in our application. So let's cut this and go to index.js. On the top, let's add this line here. We should also load Joy. So constant Joy, we set this to require Joy. Okay, so that's a better implementation. Now there is one more place we need to modify here. So in our models folder, look at movie.js. So when creating a movie, we need to pass a valid genre ID. So I'm going to replace this with joy.object ID. Now one last change before we finish this lecture. So in our routes folder, let's take a look at movies.js. Here's the handler for creating a new movie. So here we create a new movie object, save it to the database, and then return it. Now in this implementation, I'm resetting this movie after saving it to the database. This was purely to demonstrate that this save method returns a movie document. And also, I didn't want to distract you with too much detail about how object IDs work. So now that you know object IDs are actually generated by MongoDB driver, not MongoDB database, you know that when we create a new movie object, Mongoose talks to MongoDB driver and sets the ID right here before saving this movie to the database. So technically, we don't need to reset this movie in order to return that ID to the client. So we can remove that and change movie from a variable to a constant. The same principle applies when creating a new customer and a new genre.